This is the Boston Celtics newsfeed for Saturday, November 24th, 2018. Reporting from Boston, Massachusetts, I'm Mike Walsh for CLNS Media, the leading online provider of audio-video coverage for the NBA's winningest franchise. Welcome in Black Friday and Small Business Saturday shoppers. I hope the bargains have been as plentiful as your Thanksgiving dinner was, and as that Celtics first quarter was Friday night. In case you missed it, during the hullabaloo of the holiday week, the Celtics bounced back in a big way last night, plowing through the Atlanta Hawks on the road, 114-96. Boston rolled up 45 points in the first quarter of this three-game road trip, snapping a three-game skid and moving to 10-9 on the season. Of course, that was only part of the story over the Thanksgiving break. First off, Al Horford missed the Hawks game with that knee soreness that was bugging him earlier in the week, but he played against the Knicks on Wednesday, and Brad Stevens seemed to think that he might even be able to make a return and suit up for tonight's second night of the back-to-back in Dallas. In his stead, Marcus Morris made his first start of the season, while Gordon Hayward remained on the bench. Morris was 3 of 10 for 8 points in 24 minutes, but Aaron Baines took over for 16 points and 9 boards on 5 of 7 shooting, and he got to the line 5 times in 23 minutes. Again, though, that wasn't the biggest story of the day, and we'll get to a certain someone named Anthony Davis in a moment. But first, guys, it is cold, especially in the Northeast this week, and that's why you need to know about Action Heat. Action Heat makes the world's best battery-heated clothing. That's right, I said battery-heated clothing. Heat on demand with a touch of a button. You can control your environment with Action Heat. It's clothing engineered to safely and efficiently deliver heat via heating panels similar to a heated car seat. It's going to last up to 12 hours on each charge. Products include heated jackets, socks, gloves, hats, even undergarments like base layer shirts and long johns. You can wear them snowboarding, skiing, really even shoveling. Any outdoor activities you can make more enjoyable with Action Heat. Heated products that fit everyone's budget starting at just $39.99. And we've got a special deal for our listeners to save 20% off your entire order. Just go to actionheat.com/newsfeed. Check out everything Action Heat has to offer. That's actionheat.com/newsfeed. Or use the coupon code NEWSFEED at checkout to save 20%. Okay, so here's the deal with Mr. Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans. According to a report by longtime NBA insider Chris Sheridan, who's currently with GetMoreSports.com, the Celtics are on a short list of teams that Davis would consider playing with long-term. That list, again, per Sheridan, is the Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers, and his current and only pro home, the New Orleans Pelicans. Sheridan writes, quote, "The determining factor in the short term will be the level of success the Pelicans do or do not have during the first half of the upcoming 2018-19 season. If they are in the middle of the pack or worse in the competitive Western Conference, it is more likely than not that Davis will be moved before the trading deadline. And if that becomes the case, no team is more primed to exchange a bushel full of assets than the Celtics, whose president Danny Ainge has long coveted Davis." Ending quote there. Now for the not-so-great news. First, Davis is under a contract for 2 more seasons, plus a player option for 2020-21, and he makes about $25.5 million this season, so that would need to be immediately matched in any trade offer. The second caveat is the biggie, though. Because Boston traded for a Rose Rule player, that's a Derrick Rose rule, in Kyrie Irving, and currently has him under contract on the roster, Danny Ainge may not trade for another such Rose Rule player. Teams are only allowed to have one traded for Rose Rule player on the roster at one time, according to the terms of the collective bargaining agreement. Now, the 2 ways around this both involve Irving, one being the Celtics signing him to an extension after the season, and thus moving him off of the traded for bit of the Rose Rule, which would have then allowed them to make a trade for a Rose Rule player like Davis. The other, and take a deep breath with me on this one, Celtics Nation, Boston could theoretically and hypothetically include Kyrie Irving in a potential trade for Davis if Danny Ainge were to believe that this needed to be done before February. Of course, that opens up a laundry list of other items, chief among them being would Davis even want to come to Boston if it wasn't Kyrie Irving here running the show. For now, sit tight. This story is definitely far from over, but at least immediately, the equally 10-9 New Orleans Pelicans, I don't think they're going to be doing anything rash in the, short term here. Guys, enjoy the holiday weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. The Celtics play Dallas tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Horford's going to remain questionable for that one, while the Mavs are without Dirk Nowitzki, who has been out all week with an ankle issue. Wesley Matthews, who's averaging 16.2 points per game, is listed as out with a hamstring. He went through some drills on Friday, according to the Mavs official site, but is doubtful. Dwight Powell is also doubtful, dealing with a knee injury. He did not practice on Friday. Check us out on clnsmedia.com and follow along during the games to @CelticsCLNS on Twitter. Until next time, guys, for the CLNS Media Network, this has been Mike Walsh.